What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Purple Bear Biology. Professor Hurley here, bringing you another cool video on biodiversity. If you're new to the channel, we discuss basic principles of biology, microbiology, and anatomy. In this episode, we will get to discuss my absolute favorite topic in science, arthropod diversity. What's an arthropod, you ask? Well, you have seen arthropods in your everyday life. They are literally everywhere. If you've ever seen an insect, a spider, a mite, or even a crustacean like a lobster or a crab, or even stranger things like millipedes and centipedes, then you are looking at an arthropod. Arthropods are one of the most species-diverse groups on the planet and have permeated to inhabit almost every part of the globe, with the only primary limitation on their expansion being habitat temperature, because these cool critters are ectotherms and thus need external temperatures to meet their metabolic needs. So how diverse is this group? Well, here's a cool way to look at it. Of all of the life we have identified on the planet, close to 3/4 of it is composed of animals. More than half of those animal species identified are arthropods. And of those arthropods, more than 50% are insects alone. This means that insects account for approximately half of all of the diversity on the planet. Still find that hard to understand and hate pie charts? That's okay, I got you. Check out this artistic rendition of species diversity on the planet. Each organism in this image represents a particular animal group they belong to. The size of the organism represents the relative diversity of the species found in that group. Look at the size of the fly representing the insect diversity. It's larger than all of the other organisms on the planet, demonstrating the incredible diversity of this group. You can even see mammals represented by this tiny little moose. I mean, even fungi have more biodiversity than mammals. Current estimates are that there are over 4 million species of insect on the planet, of which we have currently only described about 1 million of them. That means we've only identified approximately 25% of all of the insect species on the planet. When you consider these stats, we begin to see that scientists have just begun to explore the biological world. So arthropods are incredibly diverse, but what has made them so successful? That list could go on and on, but let's focus on the top 4 reasons this biological group has conquered the world. The first, and probably one of the most important, is that they have jointed appendages. Joints increase mobility, enabling the organism to move more efficiently. This movement enables them to escape predators, find food, and even develop specialized regions of their body for performing specific tasks. To understand how important jointed appendages are, I want you to imagine your life without joints. I mean, really, think about it. Lock your limbs and your fingers in a straight line, and then try to go for a walk. No bending at the knees or the elbows. Try to keep your feet from bending. While you're at it, try to pick up a stick without bending your fingers. You will quickly find that it is nearly impossible to effectively move around without joints, and arthropods have joints in spades. So what could be more impressive than multiple jointed appendages? How about flight? Biological self-sustained flight mechanisms have only developed in 4 groups on the planet, and insects are one of them. What about flight makes them so successful? Well, flight allows insects to increase mobility. Flight enables them to move from one place to another relatively quickly. This enables them to find food and mates more effectively, as well as allowing them to escape predators' grasp before they get consumed. You might think that it's hard to top flight and joints, but insects have certainly done it. Their third adaptation is something called an exoskeleton. Now, you're probably familiar with our bony skeleton found deep within our tissues. This skeleton serves as structural support and anchor points for our muscles to pull against to produce movement. Insects do not have internal skeletons. Instead, they have a hard outer covering, kind of like a plate of armor, seen in the old medieval knights. This skeleton enables them to protect themselves, as well as serving as a type of anchor point for muscles to produce movement. The exoskeleton can also prevent desiccation, aka drying out, from water loss across the external surface of the organism. Now, while the exoskeleton is hugely beneficial, it does come with costs. For one, developing an exoskeleton is very energetically costly. Additionally, exoskeletons are fixed space that does not expand. To better understand this, Imagine that when you were 5, you wanted to be a knight in shining armor. So your parents bought you a full piece of beautiful plate armor that fits perfectly. You put it on and vow that you shall never remove it. But you're going to grow as you get older, and the armor will not grow with you. You would end up being squished in your own armor. Arthropods exoskeletons are kind of similar. So to get around this obstacle, they accomplish a beautiful task where they shed their exoskeleton, grow, and then develop a new exoskeleton. The process is collectively called molting. This, of course, is really dangerous for the organism because it leaves them unprotected with limited mobility until their new exoskeleton hardens. While molting is dangerous, it offers an additional benefit as well. These organisms can completely change their morphology in between molts. This is our final adaptation, and it's called metamorphosis. Metamorphosis occurs when an organism changes body morphologies through development. One good example would be a caterpillar into a butterfly. The caterpillar completely changes its morphology between the two life stages. Why metamorphosize, you ask? It allows lots of advantages, but the two primary ones include mobility and preventing offspring from competing with their adult counterparts for resources. Well, y'all, that's it for this episode of Purple Bear Biology. I hope you found this brief glimpse into arthropod diversity and adaptation to be as cool and useful as I do. If you like the video or want to explore more of this cool world of insects, drop me a comment in the comment section below. Also, be sure to subscribe and share the video so we can spread this awesomeness all around the world. As always, thank y'all for stopping by, and see you next time.